Support for the Leadoff on WGLT and WGLT.org comes from the Central Illinois Regional Airport. The airport team strives to make air travel accessible to all through the Sunflower program, allowing individuals to self-identify when they need more assistance. More on the Hidden Disability Sunflower program at CIRA.com.
A CDC worker fired by the Trump administration gives a pep talk to public health workers in Bloomington-Normal. That's one of the things you need to know to start your day for Friday, September 12th. I'm Lauren Warnicki, and this is WGLT's The Leadoff. Now let's lead off with an exhibit coming to Central Illinois to commemorate the 9/11 attacks. WGLT's Eric Stock shares the experience of a central figure in America's response.
Andrew Card was President George W. Bush's chief of staff on 9/11. In a now iconic image, Card whispers to the president in a Florida classroom that a second plane had hit the World Trade Center towers. Card says he admires the resolve Bush showed at a time of tragedy and uncertainty.
When I whispered in his ear and told him that a second plane hit the second tower, America's under attack, he did nothing to introduce fear to those young students or demonstrate fear to the satisfaction of terrorists all around the world.
Card says those attacks permanently changed the way we live. They plunged the U.S. into wars in Afghanistan and later Iraq. In the immediate aftermath, Card recalls a time when the tragedy brought the country together.
And some of us looked at our neighbors a little differently. Others embraced their neighbors. But what I found was unique. Almost every town in America responded by putting an American flag on their front lawn and saying, "We're together."
Card says he personally knew people on each of the hijacked planes that crashed that day, including at the Pentagon in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And as that day moves further into our memory, Card says it's important to share the significance of 9/11 with younger generations.
I was delivering an iconic message in an iconic time in an iconic place, but I had no concept that I would end up personifying the call to keep our promise never to forget.
Card will serve as an advisor to a new 9/11 exhibit that's set to open at the Peoria Riverfront Museum next year to mark the 25th anniversary of the attacks. With reporting from WGLT's Joe Deacon, I'm Eric Stock.
Here are some other stories we're following in the WGLT newsroom. McLean County Administrator Cassie Taylor presented a $144 million annual budget proposed to the county board last night. The budget marks a 5% increase, but the property tax rate is expected to drop. And the Illinois Department of Corrections has started to scan prisoners' mail. Capital News Illinois reports the IDOC enacted an emergency rule change to prevent contraband from entering its prisons through letters and books sent to people in prison. You can find more on these stories at WGLT.org. Public health workers in Bloomington-Normal and across Illinois got a pep talk yesterday from someone who lost her job in public health. Abby Ty was fired from her job in overdose prevention at the Centers for Disease Control in February. That's when the Trump administration fired all probationary workers at the health agency. Ty has since helped start the National Public Health Coalition, a group that advocates for public health. She was a keynote speaker at the Illinois Public Health Association's annual Public Health Workforce Conference in Uptown Normal. Ty tells WGLT's Eric Stock what this gutting of the CDC means for public health.
My dream was to work at the CDC. I grew up in Atlanta. I am a big public health nerd, and so it was devastating in that working there was my dream, and serving communities is like what I really like to do. So definitely a lot of like tears and working through that initially, but I really am angry. I'm angry that the American people are getting, hurt by this, and a lot of people don't know that. And so that anger has quickly turned into this motivation to make sure that voters, communities, everybody, policymakers, people know the important role that public health plays in our country.
Did you interpret this as they feel that drug prevention is no longer a priority in the federal government?
So my experience is a little different than most. My program is still at CDC. They're just significantly understaffed now. So I think that the administration is not going to cut overdose prevention or cut the DFC program. However, there is this kind of attack on the workforce that has resulted in really abysmal staffing levels, which mean communities get less in their customer service experience with the CDC, who many states and local communities rely on for expertise.
And the CDC and the larger health community answer now to the new Health and Human Services Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I have to ask what you feel the mood is in the healthcare community and the public health community under his administration.
Yeah, so I can't really speak to the healthcare community because I think public health and healthcare are really separate things. But at least in the public health community, the folks that I'm around, we're really disappointed with the way that Secretary Kennedy has conducted himself and has tried to lead this organization. CDC was attacked by an armed gunman last month. My child was under lockdown. He goes to the child care center that is near the CDC. An entire community has been traumatized, and the president hasn't said anything about it. Secretary Kennedy hasn't talked to staff about it. And so we're really, really unhappy with how things have gone. And we feel that, RFK Jr. has driven a lot of the kind of visceral hate towards CDC and public health in general. And we've actually called for him to resign or for Congress to step in because he's hurting Americans.
We as in your organization?
Yes.
From a policy standpoint, where are you at odds?
We are at odds, I think, in the execution of how we solve problems. I think we agree in a lot of ways about what the problems are. Everyone wants access to healthy foods and safe communities and wants their loved ones to live a long, happy life. I think the disagreement is in believing science versus kind of coming to those problems with an assumed causation and then deciding what that causation is without any actual evidence.
That was Abby Tai, a fired CDC worker who now leads the National Public Health Coalition. She was a keynote speaker yesterday at the Illinois Public Health Association's annual Public Health Workforce Conference. Tai spoke with WGLT's Eric Stock. Before we let you go, Cornbelt Energy is hosting an electric vehicle car show at State Farm Corporate South today from 5:30 to 7:30. The event aims to teach the public about the EV industry. And that's it for today. I'm Lauren Warnicki. The show was produced by Cheyenne Brown. You can subscribe to the Leadoff on the NPR app and wherever you get your podcasts.